About 5 years ago, I was the quiet kid in school which had no friends, which was awkward to be around, which had these negative thoughts of I'm not worth anything all the time. In school, it was painful to be there because I had no friends and I had to stand on the school court alone, eating my little bread, looking at all the friend groups that had built without me. In school, I felt like a clown, so I stayed at home. I lied to my mother that I was sick. I cried in bed because I had just lied to my mother. And then I remember this particular day where I wanted to play Fortnite, but our dad would always take away the mouse of our PC so we couldn't play. So we wouldn't stay at home for the video games because he knew this was a thing, but my brother and me masked this to my mother so well that we just stayed home and played Fortnite together without her ever blaming this on the video games. Back then I had this little laptop, not even a gaming one, but just a standard one from Microsoft with a little touchpad on it. I played Fortnite the whole morning with the touchpad after my father was gone. And permanently I would have these thoughts, oh, what if my dad comes back? Because sometimes he would, because he forgot something, and then if he found out that I'm on the PC, it will you know. After a time, I think I've got this realization last year that video games are actually so evil. Because you know the feeling of, okay, you're not doing quite well in school, right? You feel like you're the clown, you don't really want to raise your hands. You're getting mocked and bullied by the other boys from the extrovert athletes, which have their friend group already and now seek some prey. Now you're getting pushed away from school. And the only real solution you have for this is escaping from reality. Because there's not really much else you can do, right? You could do sports, but you don't really like sports, so it falls away. You don't really have any hobbies, but the video games, they make you feel good. They give you the dopamine that you need. They give you the feeling that you actually progress somewhere. And now you're getting pulled by the video games. And I fell into this trap. As the young little guy, I have a picture of me. As this little guy. So what's happening now is that the school pushes you and video games pull you. So you want to stay at home and play video games. Which ends in quite a disaster because, okay, what happens now? You're getting isolated from every social contact in school. You're getting friends on video games, fine. But they actually are not your real friends because you can't grow with them. You don't do cool things with them. You may get some wins with them, right? But you're not climbing trees with them. You're not racing them. You're not going into the city and eating some ice cream. So now you're getting complacent. I've played League of Legends about 4 years ago. And in there I met this 20-year-old guy, which was at university, which was a streamer. And I always liked playing with him because he just gave me the big brother feeling, but it was also in video games. And then I stayed at home even more. I looked at the streams. When I was in school, I looked at the streams in school while the other kids were sitting behind me watching my iPad. Can you imagine the little guy which I was just sitting there? So if you're in a position of where you feel like the video games take up a lot of your time, right? And if you're being humble, you may even see that the video games are hurting you. And then try to reduce it. And if you know you're addicted, then there's this plan you can follow which will lead away from addiction. So basically you want to reduce your time which you can do the thing in. Basically you want to reduce the time in which you are able to do the thing. So you would go out for a walk instead of staying in your room because then you can't use your PC, right? You'd stay in school for an hour longer to read or do homework because then you don't get distracted by your PC. If you notice that you have this certain time zones in which you always play Fortnite, then during these times just try to get another hobby in and something you are responsible for. Maybe going to a church club or something. There's a lot of free things you can do around your city, especially for teenagers. Now, how we solve the problem of being the introvert in school and not getting any friends or anyone to talk to us is the most uncomfortable part, really. Because we have to see that nobody is going to talk to us. We've waited for this for 1 year now. People don't approach you. And quite frankly, you're insane now because you expect that something different happens, even though you've done the thing over and over and over again. You've waited every day, nothing happens. And maybe you get this little strain of luck, or you had it once, but you messed up, right? You didn't get this guy as a friend, which you will be meeting up with. So, we want to meet more people and actually get out of our comfort zone. Because you can either choose the pain of stepping into the cold water now and trying to get friends right now, or you can choose the pain of you don't get any friends. You don't know how to talk to people, and in 1 year time you're still alone. And then you have to figure it out while you just wasted 1 year and didn't develop anything in your social life. And we both don't want that, right? And don't come up with any excuses as that you've tried. Those are limiting beliefs. I've did a video on this as well, if you're interested in that. So please, look into your life right now. And if you kind of relate to the story I've told, to the addiction that you have, from the pull that you feel towards video games, try to fill this time up with other activities. And the best activities you can actually fill into those spaces is something where you have to meet people. So if you have the money, then you can go into the cafe and talk to the barista. Or just sit on a table, order a coffee, read a little book. And then, even from talking to the barista, you will get more experience. I know that I've struggled to talk to people because I've played video games all my youth long. I didn't get any life experience, I didn't get any social experience. What do you think? How many friendships I've actually set into sand because I was too lazy or too scared to talk to the people. So please be different. I have a Discord channel down in the description. Please join that. Also subscribe, yeah. Until then, stay safe and see you soon.